My name is Jenny. I was born on July 16, 1945, in Taylor, Arkansas. I've written this memoir so that my story can live on long after I'm gone. I first met Forrest on the bus to school. I had invited him to sit next to me after I had heard all the other kids on the bus tell him he couldn't sit with them. We became best friends very quickly and spent a lot of time together. We would mainly hang out near a very large oak tree in an open field. I taught Forrest how to read there, and he taught me how to climb. One day, Forrest and I were walking home when the same kids from the bus started to throw rocks at Forrest, knocking him down. "Run, Forrest, run!" I yelled. And he did. And in that moment, I got to watch him discover his love for running and break free from the leg braces that had held him back for so long. I graduated high school and went to an all-girls college. Forrest came to visit me once. That was the last I saw of him for a while. We ran into each other another time, after I had dropped out of college. That was the first time Forrest ever told me that he loved me. He also told me he was being sent to Vietnam, and that's when I realized that both of our lives were about to change forever. That Forrest wrote me dozens of letters when he was in Vietnam. I never got any of them. I was too busy participating in the anti-war protests. The anti-war movement began mostly on college campuses. Members of the Students for a Democratic Society group began organizing teach-ins to express their opposition to the way the war was being conducted. The majority of the American population still supported the administration policy in Vietnam, but the small and outspoken liberal minority was making its voice heard. Besides myself, this minority included many students, artists, intellectuals, and members of the hippie movement. A growing number of young people involved themselves in our anti-war campaign. I reunited with Forrest again in Washington, D.C. for a short time. We talked about Vietnam. He told me stories of trekking through the heavy rain and swamps, through trees so heavily condensed that sometimes they didn't know if it was day or night. One day while on patrol, their platoon was ambushed. Forrest carried several wounded soldiers to safety, including his lieutenant and his best friend. His act of bravery led him to Washington to receive a Medal of Honor from President Lyndon B. Johnson. He gave me that medal before I left to Berkeley that same night. When we finally reconnected after a couple years, I was heartbroken to find out that his mother had passed away. He told me all about going back to Vietnam, winning a ping pong tournament, and starting his own shrimping business. I was relieved to hear that the stress of going to war didn't take a big toll on him, the way it did for his lieutenant and many other soldiers. I remember asking Forrest if he was scared in Vietnam. He told me that sometimes he was, but he remembered the rare but beautiful starry nights there. He compared them to the sunsets on the bayou, and the water to the clear mountain lake, and the sky to the sunrises in the desert. I wish I had been with him through it all. I told him so, and he said I was always with him, wherever he went, and that I always will be. Jenny died on March 22, 1982. She was buried under the big oak tree where she taught Forrest to read, and he taught her to climb. Forrest raised their son on his own, reading him books and teaching him how to play ping pong and how to fish.
I don't know if we each have a destiny or if we're all just floating around accidental like on a breeze. But I think maybe it's both.